Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Rayron, your Ice Dragon, and today we're going to be talking about part 1 of my involvement in the Central Coast Railroad Festival. Now I got a couple of pictures to show to you guys, got some video, and we're basically I'm going to give you guys a behind the scenes look on how kind of a train show gets set up and kind of the work involved. Because if you've been to a train show, you guys are kind of used to, again, if you're not part of a member of a actual train show, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And as a normal, person going into these train shows, you guys are just used to showing up and seeing all the trains run around the layout and everything. And I kind of want to give you guys kind of a perspective of a person that tries to set one of these things up. So kind of want to give you guys a little bit of a journey as part of this train show here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you guys some pictures and we'll get right on into it. Alright, so here's a couple pictures that I've taken. So this is going to be the HO layout. It's going to be a double track oval layout. So what you can see from here is that we've got one of the corner modulars wiring it up. So there's been a couple of members, to include myself, that have helped with framework, wiring, track laying, and so forth with a lot of these particular modulars. So we've got it clamped to a table here, and we're just trying to get it set up wiring wise so that way we can get it on the layout. Alright, this is kind of a little bit more zoomed back look. We've got kind of a yard in the bottom left that is being developed down here. We got some wiring to do, and then we'll get it upright for the show. And then we've got the three in the back. These three have been done a couple years ago, fully scenic, and you'll see some more pictures on these particular modulars coming up. And then this bottom right hand one is the one that we're kind of going to be building in a week. It was made of scrap wood and some other random parts. We needed a 3-foot modular to fit in between these two corners, and to kind of extend the width a little bit, because originally we were just going to have the two corner modulars hooked up, but then we realized we had a little bit more space, so we added 3-foot modulars, which I had a 3-foot modular. If you guys have seen some of my other videos on the test track, those modulars are 12 inches or 1 foot by 3 foot. So you'll see one of my modulars in this particular layout as well, which I'm excited for. I wasn't expecting to have a modular in this particular train show, but long and behold, I will have one in here. All right, so this is kind of a zoomed in shot of one of the newer corner radiuses, and I can't remember top of my head what the radiuses these are. I think they're in the 30s. We realized that we needed these wide 90-degree turns because, I run the big boy and Challengers, and some other people run the big diesels, so we needed bigger turn radiuses. All right, this is a picture of one of the yards that we're going to be having set up. This is a 5-layered track double main used with the Digitrack system. Both N-Scale and HO will be Digitrack system setup, and I got pictures of both. So here's another modular here. This is where all the switches are to go into that yard work. This is the Christmas modular. One of our members built basically these three here. And then this is another picture of another corner modular. Again, they'll need some work. Our whole purpose for this particular show is that we wanted to have a double main modular setup for the first time. So we were definitely trying to get just functionality first, and then scenery will eventually come later. So if you've seen some of my videos, you will recognize this modular. So originally, in my videos of the test track in particular, this is supposed to be a single track main. So this is one of 3 modulars that I have made. Now this name of this modular is the testing range, and the whole purpose of this was to test my laying techniques, my building techniques when it comes to the modulars, and just my scenery design. And I just tested everything, and you can see the ties and the ballast are all different because I was experimenting to see what combination I wanted to go with. And so we needed a 3-foot modular. So I was like, you know what? I've got this whole one side that I haven't really done any scenery with. You know, I can slap down another mainline track and then we can do double modular. So that's exactly what I did. So in the future, when you see some of my test track videos, there'll be one modular that'll be double track and the other two will be single track. So again, there's no particular standards. This is the Dragon Railroad standard. So this is not as far when it comes to wiring and when it comes to like the distance in between, it is Fremo style standardization. But when it comes to the framework, it's my personal framework. So here's another picture of another corner piece. Now, one cool thing about these corners is that we have the cork down here for the road bed. But then when it comes to the edge, our builder of the club put these wooden pieces in, so that way they can be straight when it comes to connecting the two modulars together, which is pretty cool. And some other train shows I've seen the metal pieces that actually wire and you solder down in place so that way they don't rip off when it goes into transportation. Another piece of the corner here. All right, so this is going to be the opposite side of those three scenic pieces that you guys just saw. This is going to be another rail yard, and this one will be going from one side to the other so you can actually connect. It's a through point rail yard, whereas the other one dead ends. So we kind of got a best of both worlds when it comes to rail yards. A lot of space for the members to actually load, unload, pass if they have to for faster and slower trains, but a lot of flexibility. These are going to be controlled by Barrett Hill turnout systems. So down here you got the Barrett Hill toggle switches. They have two lights that indicate which way the turnouts are going to be thrown. And that's actually why in this next modular, this one's, you can see that converges back to the double track main. This one's on its side, and I'll have a later picture of what the underneath of this modular looks like, because we still got some wiring to do with the Barrett Hill system. Again, this is kind of a picture of the latest. So we got everything's pretty much connected. This little module right here is the other 3-foot that we're going to do. It's going to be a left-hand side crossover for the main, because we realized in the last train show that we kind of did, it was more of a private event. We didn't have enough crossovers. So we wanted to make sure we had plenty and make sure that we had our first time double track main. So that's what it's going to be. All right, so this is our first look at N scale. So this is a balloon double track layout here. All scenic, everything's all good to go when it comes to N scale. N scale is definitely ahead of the HO guys, which I'm definitely an HO person. But when it comes to N scale, it is a beautiful layout. So this is just one side. This is the county fair, Slowmore County Fair. Now this track on the inside is Z scale, so you can kind of get an understanding between N scale and Z scale track, and it's pretty cool because it simulates like the narrow gauge what you typically see like at Disneyland or at county fairs or amusement parks and so forth. But it gives you guys some perspective on the different scales. All right, here's the Pitman Station modular here with the town and everything. Very gorgeous layout. And then we've got the Candida's Grove modular. All this is going to be orange trees. So these are removable orange trees that for storage, you know, they take the trees out, and then when a train show actually happens, they'll put it back in. Again, I'll have some more pictures of the end result along with trains running. N scale is a little bit finicky to capture with my equipment, but I'm going to try to capture the N scale stuff for you guys. And this is kind of the other half of that balloon layout for N scale. And you can see what we got here is we got N scale butted up against the HO scale. So it's going to be kind of a circular loop here when it comes to this design. And I got some close-ups of the N scale layout. And I do apologize, the pictures are a little bit slanted. I didn't realize that when I was taking these that I was on a bit of an angle. So again, novice. I try my best, but yeah, slightly on an angle. I didn't realize till I was looking at these pictures, like, oh, I'm actually slanted. But try to get some good shots for you guys. So a little bridge here with the kayaks going underneath it. This is that house on the other ballooned end of that end scale layout. The opposite side of the kayak with the bridge. I think this was, yeah, this was the orange little factory here. Another angle. Here's that pitman station at eye level. Kind of going to the opposite side. And then there's that fair kind of close up. Now, I was experimenting with the lighting a little bit, and I realized that I just gotta keep the lighting on. It really pops out all that detail. All right, now we go back to the HO side. Again, here is the dead end rail yard. So it only connects on one side. Some horses. More horses close up. So the whole point of these pictures is that I'm experimenting with new photographic equipment. So I got like a tripod, I got a light that sits on top of the camera. So I'm experimenting with many things. Little car parked next to the farmhouse. Got a service tires and batteries station. Got some passengers waiting for the train to come on. This is part of that snow modular. All right, so this is the underside of what I was talking about earlier on the train yard that's actually through. So I wanted to take this picture for you guys because it may seem kind of daunting, but it really isn't once you understand the basic construct of how to wire things. I'll probably do a separate video of how to wire a modular. But for those of you who are a nerd when it comes to wiring this type of stuff, basically what we've got here is we've got our main bus line. This main bus line has 4 wires. 2 that powers the track and 2 that powers the accessories. And basically we used something called a terminal bus to distribute power throughout the modular. And what we do at the club is starting to become club standard, and I think it's also Fremo standard. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look into it. But what you do is you wire your main bus line all the way through. And then you got these jumper wires that go to sub buses that feed the rest of the layout. Now, what makes this so important is that if you have an issue with your layout as far as a short or issue with the track itself, your main bus line is not affected. So what you do is you disconnect the jumper wire to the modular. That way you can troubleshoot independent from the rest of the power of the main bus. Again, we do use tortoise slow switch machines. And right down here is the Barrett Hill system that controls that. One downside with the Barrett Hill system is that there's really no way to interact the Barrett Hill system with JMRI. And that's why I've decided to go 100% Digitrax, because then I can control it via JMRI with the Panel Pro system. But we got this on the side because we needed a couple more Barrett Hill ribbon wire to connect the toggles to the station right here. And then we'll eventually Velcro this little outlet to control the Barrett Hill system, because it runs off of DC power. And some more pictures here of the terminal point rail yard, and it converges back into the double main. And now these are the Atlas snap track system, but these are all manual throws. Another perspective of the station here. Going back to N scale and Z scale for the fare. All right, and that is all of the photos that I took. Now let's go ahead and I'll show you guys a video of these particular layouts. So I just do a walk around here and I'll just do some commentary. I got 3 videos for you guys. So this was, I believe, the first day. So now we're just walking around showing you guys, you know, the initial setup. So now you can see the 3 modulars. At this point, we haven't really leveled anything, haven't clamped anything. And we're working on wiring that corner modular. And originally, my modular was going to be on this side, but we decided to switch it to the other side because this piece right here is going to be a double crossover, so we needed the space on both sides. All right, now we're just looking at the N scale side. And I can't remember what system they use for their standard to the modulars. But again, this gives you kind of some perspective on the size between N scale and HO scale. So if you're on the fence on which scale you want to do, you know, this gives you some perspective as far as a train show is concerned. And I'm definitely biased towards HO because that's just what I grew up with. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in the photos is that you got this little TY here. So basically, there's another module that connects down here, and then you can add on to it. So you can see the 2 sides of the balloon turnaround. And then right next to it, you've got the HO layout. So again, this gives you some perspective of the 2 scales. Now by this point, I don't think we've clamped it. So everything was level clamped. We just haven't put the jointers in. And then there's so there's the modular right there. So that's my contribution. Again, no standard scale. It's on, it's dragon scale. I'll put it that way. It's my own custom scale. My modulars are going to be on my personal home layout that I'm building. And I'm just nicknaming it the, oh, I can't remember. The name escapes me now. But if I remember the name, I'll let you know. But, oh, it's the Dragon's branch line. That's kind of the nickname for my modular layout. But now here's another tour of the the N scale layout. So by this point, they had all the joiner rails connected. They cleaned the track. They're adding some more details to the sceneries. And this is from the opposite side. And you can see right here, there's another modular. Let me go back a little bit here. So you can see right here, there's actually another modular that connects right here that the layout can go into a T-shaped. And you've got some guide holes and everything that allows it to snuggle into the modulars. But yeah, I will admit that N scale definitely has the best scenery right now from the club that I'm a part of. And at this point, HO, we're just trying to get things functional. And there's our curve. Now, what's great about this is that you guys are going to get some good camera shots. If you guys seen some of my past videos from the train show we did about a year ago, these corner modulars make great spots to actually record. So if you guys watched my Big Boy 4019 videos for the mini rail fanning, that's where some of these shots were taking place. So right now we're just doing a close-up view of the modulars, and that's our first tone over. And then we got another turnouts right here. So this is where it goes. It spider webs into 5 tracks, and then it will dead end on this side. So you can see right here we got 3 that dead end, and then it will continue on with the other 2. And then the opposite side, they will converge back into the double main. So yeah, that gives you kind of the perspective of the layout that we're going to be running for the Central Coast Railroad Festival here in the Central Coast of California. I'm definitely excited for this train show. It's been a while since I actually got to participate in one, but I am really excited for this. And it's definitely the first time that I've had a personal modular on a club layout. So I was really excited when the opportunity came out to actually add one. I know it's small, but it actually means a lot to me to actually have a modular in the layout. So definitely excited about that. All right, guys. So that is pretty much part 1 of the Central Coast Railroad Festival. And I look forward to completing this series so you guys can see from start to finish how a train show kind of works. So with that, guys, I'll see you on the next episode.